We definitely would want to, when we construct the actual objects, then we have to be real careful about their widths, making sure that they are the right sizes. Which is kind of annoying. It'd be like, I wish I could have like a little goalpost marker here or something that would say like at 500, I want to know where the right side of this thing is. I don't want to have to drag this over or do something else to kind of see like, well, where the hell are the extents for this thing, and then what scale should it be at. I think it's just going to have to be done in art. We can modify the editor like all sorts of things, but it's just not going to matter at the end of the day. We're going to need it probably like power of 2 or something else to actually make it work properly. Because we need to have a unit of measure where we can actually reliably snap things. And I'm kind of confused as to why the hell the grid snap doesn't let us use something else, because it'd be nice if it was a power of 2 grid snap, because then you always know like what half of, you can always subdivide that. And right here, like, it breaks down when you get to below 5. It's like, okay, I'm going to have 25, and then I'm going to have 50 to 25, and you're like, okay, I'm going to have 25 to 12.5? Like, all of a sudden, we're not dealing with integers anymore. Versus a power of 2, where it'd be like 32, 16, 8. Yeah, I don't see a way to do this at all. There's just nothing built in. Snap an object to another object. We obviously have these things, but then how the hell do I get the actual object we need to collide with? Well, let's go see how they did their V-snapping. And maybe I can add a button that you would hold that instead of V-snapping it snaps like to the edge. And then you could just like have a couple keys or something that you can hold. And we'll just, kind of look through what the key bindings currently are. Maybe there's just something I'm missing. Snap to surfaces. Yeah, surface snapping looks like it just doesn't work at all. Yeah, Adam, I don't really want to have a technical conversation over Twitch chat. It's just going to cause too much confusion for me. That 15-second or more delay is just too damn much. It's like, I don't know what's going on. So curve editor, no. The snapping was there. I'm not seeing where align left, align horizontal centers is. Yeah. No, these are just pins for graph editing. Landscape, layers. Oh. Aligns the actor to another actor at its origin. Align origin to grid. Align pivot to actor. Aligns the actor. So this is like aligning. Is that? It's probably. I wish it would actually tell me how to use these tools. Just page up, page down. Bring selection forward a snap layer. Well, hey, here are your snap layers for all of our stuff that we can actually do for like foreground, background, and all that stuff. So we can actually set all that up. So I'll write that down real quick. So we can at least like snap these things to different layers. So foreground is at 1500. How do we snap it though? Control page up. Well, that's pretty handy. Okay, so like control page up and down, we could have like bushes and other things that just get snapped easily into those layers. So that's how we can place things, and we can actually make quite a few layers there. Like, that's not bad. All right. That is control page up and down. Let's see, translucent selection, actor, attach actor, interactive, build all levels, center on selection, checkout modified. Delta transformed, no. So this is snap to location of other actors when they are within distance, like Control Shift K. Yeah, I'm not seeing Control Shift K do anything. Socket snapping. Well, maybe these are. Invert, lock, low, medium, mirror. No. Snap bottom bounds to floor is shift end. Snap bottom center bounds to floor. Control end, snap origin to grid. Shift end. Alright, so if we click and do shift end, yeah. What about control end? That just snaps the snap pivot to floor. Yeah, no. Snap to 2D layer, control spacebar. Snap to floor. Surface selection. Surface selection. Toggle view. Ungroup. No. Well, what is the V key? Bound to. Alright, so this is vertex snapping is what V is called. When the key binding is pressed and held, vertex snapping will be enabled. Alright, so if enabled, actors will snap to the location of the nearest vertex on another actor in the direction of movement. Alright, so vertex snapping is a little bit different than what I was thinking. It's snapping to vertices. So it's called vertex snapping. What I should do is look for vertex snapping in the editor and see if we can actually find anything for it. So there's vertex snapping.cpp, which is draw snapping helpers. Let's read what vertex snapping does here. We might be able to duplicate this, basically. Get closest vertex on component. So it's basically going to go through all the vertices on a thing, isn't it? If no close vertex is found, do not snap. Okay, so there's like a box that it's using to actually snap. So the out closest location is the thing that we're actually doing. We're setting it to this normal. So let me see here. If I just did something like out closest location dot position dot what y plus equals like 1,000, and just like said to hell with it. Let's just see if that, because if that does what we kind of want, if that throws it off to the right by 1,000, then all I really have to do here is see, like, I can have kind of two boxes or something like that. Like if you're within a certain box, it'll snap directly to it. Otherwise, it's like, okay, there's like a slightly bigger box, and I'll just get like the cardinal directions and just like chunk you up by the height or width or whatever the hell the actor that you're trying to snap to. And I could try it. So kind of changing the vertex snapping to not just do vertex snapping, but kind of vertex snapping with like heights. No, it's not doing anything, is it? So we're just going to poke around a little bit in the dark and see exactly what we got. Because we do have closest actor and distance and these things, so if I can just find a little bit about it, I should be able to get my foot in the door and then do some basic stuff with it. Alright, so that looks like that's where it's computing everything. So, let's see what we can do then. So one, we need to get our current selected actor's width and height. We need to get the closest actor's width and height. We need to figure out which direction our mouse is from the selected vertex, and then we need to create the offset vector in the correct direction. And this will be the YZ axis. Well, where is our actor? Drop preview actors? So I guess those are the actors right there. And of course we're passing in all this stuff here, but we're not passing it down. So we need to pass the viewport client into our get closest vertex. It's already there. Okay, it's in the args. So we want a find component. Now what actually has our object on it? Like get bounds of actor, Unreal. Get actor bounds. Returns the bounding box of all components that make up this actor. Okay, so it's only colliding components. True. What's origin and box extent? So this will grab all those. So we'll initialize them all to 0. And basically it's going to be like my width equals extents dot y, and my height equals extents dot z. Float their width, their height. We're just poking around at all this stuff. Alright, so we want to get the actor bounds with position and extent again. And basically it's going to be their width is going to be the extents dot y, and their height equals extents dot z. So why don't we just say like the y, why don't we just put ourselves over to the right? So basically we want to add my width times 0.5 plus their width times 0.5. I think the origin of the box is this sort of thing, so we need to actually so it's like f vector our offset and f vector their offset. And we need to add their width, their offset plus our offset, which is so this should basically, this will move our centers and this will move that. So the box extents should be, I think the box extents might be only half, but we'll find out pretty quick here. So let's just slowly make progress. If we can get snapping working real well, then that's like a feature that nobody other than us has. Like being able to snap actors nicely to each other. Sure, it's only one axis, but whatever. Now I don't see anything happening. Alright, let's see. What I want is, I want a breakpoint here, but I want a conditional breakpoint where I want their width does not equal 0. Their width is 557. Their offset is really big. Well, what I could do is just... Why would... Alright, yeah, this is like our... What we need to do with this offset is this offset needs to be their offset from where their position is. So we need to say their offset equals closest actor, get actor transform, get translation. So it's going to be their offset minus that. So it's going to be the center of the box to it. So theoretically, it would be something like this. And theoretically, it wouldn't be hard to just like implement this in like a real way where it's like, okay, well, we'll check like which direction the camera's facing, and then we can see like which axes to change, like the Y, the Z, or invert the Y, or invert the Z, or use the X axis or whatever. So it could be a 3D snap thing. So it's kind of interesting that they haven't actually implemented this, even though they've been kind of asked for it on multiple occasions. Because it's not super complicated, to be honest. Like, if they already have most of this snapping stuff in there, you'd be like, well, yeah, I just want to snap it like in a cardinal direction off of the object. It doesn't have to be, absolutely ridiculously perfect. It just has to be useful. Their offset is just like 100 negative x and 0.5 y. Their width is 557. Alright, so if we're over here and we snap to this guy, it goes there. Which, if you're actually looking at it, is half the distance that it's supposed to go, and then we didn't add in our width. So it's actually incredibly close to what we want. So it's actually not too bad. So it should be just like this. And we need to get our current selected object. So is there any like selected? We have selected actors right here already. Wait, no. That's me being stupid. G editor gets selected actor, so use selection. Alright, so this is how we get our actors for selection. So now what we should have is we should snap to the right of the object. And then let's double check our height stuff. After we double check our Y, we'll double check our Z. Yeah, so that snapped just, or did it? Well, why didn't it snap from the other side? Like, we snapped it here, but I couldn't snap it. There must be some sort of condition here where it's like get closest location. So their width, my width was correct. Their offset is totally wrong. Their offset is gigantic. Our offset is fine. What? Hmm. So the closest point is like at 6,000 blah. Okay. Desired unsnapped location. Snap location. Well, what happens if we just ignore some of this? Because what they're doing is they're computing the distance for these like snap locations and saying, well, like you're snapping really, really far here, but the thing is I want to snap farther along this than my mouse has moved. Like I want to move to the object and then I want it to just snap to like the right side of it or something, which is exactly right. So I actually have to change a little bit of the snapping logic. That's what it's looking like, which might make it behave absolutely insane in some instances. Well, that's fine. We'll just have it be insane for other people and fine for us. So I mean it's not bad if we're just like, all right. It's so weird that it's getting over there. There's got to be something wrong with the logic for their snapping code that definitely something wrong with their snapping code that's making it freak out like that. grabbing some actor over there instead of actually moving it. Okay, so it's actually doing this like closest point stuff. So the reason it's doing all this craziness is because of the if check here. Okay. So this check is distance from pre-snap to desired closest point equals. Well, if we have this in here, I should be able to drag from the rules should basically be move the object out of it and then move it towards it. And it's really just getting pissed at me because when I'm dragging it from the right and moving it to